Sharon Center, Ohio by tonymif and Schultz is out now for all platforms, and we're going to be taking a look at the map, all of the extra features, including new crops and how they work, some new placeables, and more. The map itself features 14 fields and 20 buyable areas. There are 3 farms on the map, very simple farms, and you are able to delete everything on them. There are no required mods for the map, so you'll be able to do whatever you want within the confines of the mods you have installed and the map itself. Main farm's located here on farmland 21. The second farm is up near the top of the map at farmland 22, and the smallest of the 3 farms is located at the top left-hand corner of the map at farmland 23. We've got 3 new crops, including Fieldgrass, which has a higher yield than normal grass, but does have crop destruction. Silage corn, which is the king of chaff yield. In one harvest, you will yield more than a year's worth of grass. And Vetchrye, which is a cover crop. So with precision farming, you will receive the subsidy with this, and you can also cultivate it in for some fertilizer or mow it for a small amount of grass. Don't worry, I will be showing off all of the new crops a little bit later on. The map itself is based on a real location in the heartland of America. This map tries to capture the area and how it used to be before the farmland gave way to housing developments. You can enjoy simply farming or use one of the many open areas to place whatever you want down. Officially, the mod description says that there are 2 sell points. However, there are a couple other extra sell points around the map. At the top right, we have the grain elevator, the farmer's market, which is up near the top left-hand side of the map. For bales of forage items, we have the animal dealer, which is just south of our farmer's market. And behind the warehouse, there is a whole bunch of triggers. This is back up near the top right-hand side of the map. For productions, we have 2 of them. The grain mill, which is also up here near the top right-hand side of the map. This is where a lot of the stuff is. And if we go over towards the right-hand side of the map, we get our dairy. There's not one but 2 fuel stations on the map. The first one's up at the top right-hand side. And we have the Route 66 gas station, which is about south of the center of the map, just north of the main farm. This one's actually very, very cool because not only can you get fuel, but there's also an interior which can be opened up. The other one has an interior too, but it can't be opened. And if we come over here, we can actually open this, come over here, click it, and raise. Unfortunately, I don't think we're able to work on vehicles in here. At least I haven't been able to find a trigger for it if we are able to do that. But it's still very, very cool that we can do that. Oh, we have a light switch here too. Huh. That's very cool. Oh, there we go. Now they're on. As you've probably heard throughout the entire video so far, we have traffic all around. So there's traffic on all of the roads. So you will feel like you're kind of out in the country, but everybody's just kind of doing their thing, which I find really neat. Oh yeah, this place is pretty cool too. To the right-hand side of the map, all the way over to the right, we have the vehicle shop. Now this is an AGCO dealer with the White Farm Equipment, New Idea Gleaner, and Sunflower as brands there. Now, a couple of those we don't have, so I don't think we have any of those brands in the game right now, but the fact that they can be added to the side of the building gives me high hopes. Here is your shop trigger right smack dab in the middle, and this is also where you start off in new farmer mode as well. After that, you will start wherever your house is. So heads up there, and then we've got this area here, which has actually got an air conditioning sound in here. The air conditioning sound comes from about where I'm standing currently. Lift doesn't work, nothing like that, but it is a pretty cool place, and we can work on the vehicles in here. So if you come over here, click that, whatever's in here can be worked on. So now that we have seen around the map and you've got kind of a good idea of what is where, we're going to take a closer look at each of the farms. We're also going to walk around the map and just kind of show you the road system itself. After that, we'll take a look at some new equipment. Of course, we've got to take a look at all of the new sheds that have been added to the game. And then finally, we'll take a look at those crops, which are very cool. Starting with the main farm, it is accessed through this road right here. We have a nice gravel and grass road, quite a long ways as well. And we've got fields on the left and the right. Humongous silo system to add on to it. We have a nice overhang here. Very, very cool with all of our equipment inside, or at least some of our equipment in there. We have some more over here. Of course, this is where the silo is going to continue along. Taking a look at the silo itself, if we bring up our windows here, 16 million liter capacity, which is very, very, very cool. Over here, we've got a nice white. Oh, yes, we do have white on the farm, don't we? Oops. And if we open up our building here, we can see it does look very, very nice. So you can move some stuff around if you would like. Over here, we've got some more stuff. We've got the J&M cart on the Massey Ferguson 9S. Goodness gracious, big storing equipment. You see how these buildings right here look very cool. Man, I'm digging the buildings. Right over here, we've got our farmhouse. No interior on it. However, if you don't like it, simply sell it and maybe put down the American farmhouse from Omatana. Just an idea. That used to be my real house. Just saying. Over here towards the right-hand side, we have another shed, which I, for some reason, can't get open. Where's my help window? Yeah, and we've got an old pickup truck to go along with it. I love it. How do we, oh. You gotta come over here and click that button. Not too shabby though. Not too shabby at all. I will probably leave my help window up just to give me an idea of what is what if there's something I don't quite understand. Over here where you've got all of your fill areas, but if you don't like them, again, just simply come through and delete them. Everything, as a matter of fact, can be deleted, as we mentioned. That silo system is going to get you a lot of money, $1.2 million, way more than you could physically start with. So if you're wanting to get rid of stuff, that may be a good place to start. And as you can see, that is everything on our main farm. But we also have a way out over here on the left-hand side. This pathway's also got access to a couple more fields that we've got over here. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at what we get in new farmer mode, you've got one field, and it is field 12. And of course, our main farm, 21. If you want to sell it, you can easily do it. You will need to delete stuff off of it, just like everything else, but you'd be good to go. Pricing for this, $689,000. So if you're wanting to sell that and maybe buy something around, you can do that. However, the fields get kind of expensive, 1.2, 1.5, but they are big enough to where, especially if you're playing in new farmer mode, I bet you'll be able to buy a new field every single harvest. All of the houses and things like that are going to be for show around towards the side over here. This is all unpurchasable land, so just a heads up through there. You're not going to be able to buy one of these houses and pretend that you are, well, you've got it. Would be nice maybe in a future update to add that, but I don't know how that would work with needing new saves or anything like that. And quite a bit of traffic through here. Goodness gracious. We've got our next little point of interest up here. This is going to be our animal dealer. Probably looks familiar to you guys, as it should. It looks like it's the one from the base game. Just kind of moved around a little bit. Manure and slurry sell points around towards the very back. Yeah, this is from Riverbend Springs. It's also worth noting that there are no animal pens on the map. So if you want to put any down, you will have to put them down yourself. As we make our clockwise motion around, we get up to the farmer's market, and the farmer's market is exactly like the one that you're used to on the base game as well. As we drop down, take a walk inside, and we can see everything is set, ready to go. Nobody's in here, at least not right now. I'm not quite sure if it would fill up with anybody. I don't see any pedestrians around this area, so you may not see that, but it is nice, and because it's the one from the base game, everything should pop up on the shelves as you sell here. Coming out from here, and we have our second farm up here. Well, I guess technically the third farm. It is the smallest of all of the farms. The farmland itself is going to cost you $123,000. So big heads up on that one. Of course, we can see there are no triggers or anything like that currently, mainly because we don't own this yet. So let's purchase it. Now that we've done that, quite a few triggers pop up. 3, as a matter of fact. We get the house itself. We've also got a small petrol tank, and we've got our silo. All base game stuff, so nothing too wild and crazy. It should be pretty familiar to you guys. Let's see, come around here. Doesn't look like this is a shed that is open. Maybe just for decoration or something like that, but you can easily delete it, as with all of the buildings. Well, I deleted the water tank. My bad. I'll make sure to take screenshots for the new save then, I guess. So all of this can be sold, 150,000 liters for your silo here. As you've probably seen, there are no farms that have fields attached to them, so the farms and the fields are completely separate. So if you wanted this farm down here, but you didn't want this big field, you could easily buy a couple of other smaller fields around, or hey, anything else that you want. So let's come out. Let's hang around towards a left. And up here on the right-hand side is going to be our farm number 2. This is the second largest farm on the map itself. If we take a look at it, farmland 22, $111,000. So it's actually a little bit cheaper than the smallest one, even though it is a little bit less farm area. So let's purchase that and see what we get. Lots of triggers through here. Goodness, we've got a bale storage, petrol tank, we've got a couple liquid fertilizer, solid fertilizer, and we've even got our silo on here. Drop it down to the ground so we can do a little walk around. Very cool. We can open this up. So we do have a nice open area here. This might be a great place for a cow pasture, something like that. Of course, we've got your bale and pallet storage here for 250 units. Over here, we got a big building. Nice. Swing them around. Looks like we've got a building that is very similar to one on the main farm, but not quite. Of course, around towards the back, we have all of those extra tanks. A lot of extra space here, so you are able to build kind of onto it, whatever you would like. And then we got a 2 million liter silo. Not too shabby. And as always, of course, probably don't have to remind you, but you could sell it all. Now, as we take a right out of that, this may be a farm that you want to go for because there's a lot of stuff up here at the top left. Pretty much everything that you could need around towards the map is up here. So we can see here we've got our general store section. However, this is actually our warehouse. So this is where you would buy your stuff for your warehouse. It does look pretty cool, including the trigger out front, which is actually, believe it or not, take a look at this. Oh yeah, it is a buying station trigger. How cool is that? That's very cool. We've got our grain mill right here on the right-hand side. I think we would be remiss if we didn't purchase it and at least take a look and see what we could do. So barley flour, oat flour, rice flour for long grain rice and regular rice, sorghum flour, and wheat flour. Looks like base game to me, so nothing wild and crazy with that. And if we take a look here, if we've purchased it, we are able to sell it. So that is nice. You can sell it and put down your own if you want. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, so quick heads up. I'm having to go back real quick. We'll talk more about this here in a second, but you cannot sell this. I've got a mod installed that allows me to sell my productions back whenever I don't want them, but it doesn't sell the building. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Over here, we have our built up grain mill, or the grain elevator museum. However, with this map, it is just a sell point. It is a grain sell point. So you come in here, open her up, sell, and then pull back out. Semi trucks might cause you a little trouble coming in and out of here, so do be careful about that. I don't think we could sell this. Yeah, we can select it. Land's not owned by me. Well, that'll do it, won't it? Yep. I wonder if we can get in and out of here though. Same as before. We can. Door opens. I mean, it's the same Placeables, it's just being utilized a little bit differently. So, not too shabby. I like that. As we mentioned, across the road over here is going to be our other fuel station. Now, this is the one I was saying that there is an interior. However, not able to get these doors to open. You could probably a wall breach in there by parking your tractor beside it and appearing inside. That's probably doable. And then, of course, you got your fuel tanks and pumps out here. If we hang a right and come down here, we have the elusive American traffic circle. Now, don't be scared. You just go in a circle and then you pull out whenever your turn is. That person doesn't know how to drive. This is an unpurchasable area on the map, so you cannot buy this. It is supposed to mimic a small town center almost. So this is where all of your extra stuff would be if this were real life. If you do have PC mods where you can place things wherever you want, you are more than welcome to place things down around through here. I don't think we can delete any of the buildings, so don't be trying that. And then we've got another set of houses here at the top right, kind of mirroring in a way the bottom left. However, you still cannot purchase that land either. Which brings us heading south. And this is going to bring us to 3 of our last things that we're going to look at. here is our dairy here. This is a lot of traffic. Run, 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 run. We'll do a quick spin around on this one real quick, just so you can kind of see where everything is. Fill ups on the left-hand side. You pick up all your pallets on the back side. We will purchase this just so that we could see. Boom, got it. Cool. It also makes different noises when you own it and when you don't own it. That's kind of neat. And it looks like we have all of our base game stuff in here, so nothing too wild and crazy when it comes to that. And those are our 2 productions on the map. You are more than welcome to place down more if you would like. And if you don't like this one for whatever reason, you can just sell it. So that's kind of neat. I'm also curious what happens if you do sell it. Sell it, sold. Ow. Oh. I must have a mod installed that lets me sell productions. Well then, I tried to delete a lot of those mods that remove things from the game, and because of how many mods I've got installed, sometimes I forget what's base game and what's not, and I do apologize for that. Over here on the right-hand side, we've got a water tower, so you can get your water from here. There's your trigger way down here. Very nice. And good news, the water is free, so you do not have to pay for it. Now, we've already kind of done a tour around this, and I've kind of made a fool out of myself. The white farm equipment is part of the base game. There's so much to this game, it's easy to forget stuff. Nonetheless, there you go. And then we crank a right onto this road. We've got our main farm there on the left-hand side, and we've got a fuel station for Route 66 right here. There's also a small little grocery, but you can't do anything with it. So the roads make a big square, and what's in between? Well, fields, and only 5 of them. They're absolutely massive. 40 acres for that one, 66 acres, 69 acres, nice, 40 acres, and lastly, 146 acres, making that, again, the largest field on the map. And hey, if you want to talk about contracts, let me tell you what, you get paid a lot for contracts. I've gone through to make sure that I don't have anything wild crazy going on there. I have Contracts Plus installed, but it doesn't give you any more money, at least the way I've got it set up. You could see like Field 11 right here, harvesting $122,000. That is absolutely crazy. These are big fields, so if you don't enjoy running big fields and being out in the field for a while, this one's going to be a tough sell. But if you do enjoy that, well, then jump right in, baby, yeah. Also doesn't hurt that we've got some great fields ready for harvest right by the main farm. So now that we've seen everything, and I know you've seen the stuff for the new farmer, I did want to go through these just to kind of show you anyway. I've tried to zoom in on it on the screen as well. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. But there you go. That is everything you've got in new farmer mode. As for placeables that are on the map, we've got 6 of them. So we have 5 sheds and 1 production point. For the sheds, we have the 3-sided shed. We've also got the 40 by 60, the 32 by 40, the 54 by 72, and the 60 by 80. And of course, over in productions, way down here, we have our dairy. We'll kind of go in reverse order of the sheds here. So there you go. I'm going to cut on my help window just so I know exactly what is where. Taking a look at the inside, spinning it around for you guys. No lights, by the way. Doesn't look like we've got any lights on this one. And we've got another gate over here, just at the very back, with the man doors right there and the big door. Not too shabby. Over here on the left-hand side, we've got the red one, which is kind of hard to find the center, but I definitely recommend turning your help window on for that one. That one's a little bit tricky. Got a nice window, unfinished interior, of course. No lighting on the top, as we saw before. Over here, you will need to go inside to do that. Is that no collision? Oh, no collision there. Neat. Well, you can run through it. That'll be pretty good. This one's way over here, as we unfortunately found at the beginning of the video. And looking around towards the interior, we also have a door on the back. So you're able to put this somewhere if you need to open that up. Great animation up there. A little loud as well, but you know what? I am here for it. We got a nice bigger shed here. We come over here to the center. One click opens both doors. And this one does have lights. It looks like we got a light switch right here. Turn them on. Hey, no sound or anything, but they are bright. Let me tell you what. And then lastly, we've got our small shed here. And as we saw with the production, well, this is exactly the dairy that's over there on the side of the farm. So side of the map, rather. Yeah, nothing different about it. So now we get to go into our new crops. We have the Fieldgrass, Silage maize, and Vetchrye. These are pretty standard, to be honest with you. Fieldgrass and Vetchrye are done with regular seeders, and your silage corn is done with a planter, obviously. It's also important to note that your silage corn cannot be done by regular combine. You have to use a forage harvester for it. Interestingly, you could use forage headers for the Vetchrye as well. Kind of cool. So what's up with these new crops? Well, your field grass, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, this has a higher yield than normal grass. Obviously, it is much, much taller than your regular grasses. However, it has crop destruction. Gonna be testing it out with the Corona Big M450 as per usual. I'm just gonna pull right through and take a look at this crop destruction. And, yeah, get over there. There you go. So that crop destruction goes straight down to the ground. Oof. Let's drop down everything. Turn them on. Come on, sides. Drop it down now. There you go. And away we go. So yeah, I would say decent amount. I don't have any fertilizer or anything on this, but the mowing looks good. It's very, very satisfying. I mentioned this in a previous video. I think it was about alfalfa, where it was just so satisfying to mow because it's so tall. That is great. So when it comes to grass versus field grass, here are the numbers at least that I'm getting in the game. So for this field, farmland number 1, I'm getting a potential harvest quality or quantity of 554,101 liters off of regular grass. It is fully fertilized, yield bonus all the way through the roof. However, the field grass is actually showing 333,000 liters. Now, this is an absolutely massive field. We're really going to have to go into a lot more detail when it comes to testing to see exactly what the numbers are, but the game is telling me that right now. However, if they say that it's got a higher yield than regular grass, I would imagine this is probably a lot more than 333,000. Vetchrye, on the other hand, is going to give you a whole lot less. 121,000 here. So you're looking at a third to a sixth-ish. There's a lot of different stuff in here, which is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful crop. However, it is really meant to be used as a cover crop, so you can get extra fertilizer into the ground for your next harvest. Or if you've got precision farming turned on, you get a subsidy for using this, as long as it's in the field in February anyway. It does have crop destruction, just like our field grass does. And if we can get this thing never put down, there we go. If we go through and mow, it looks like a very lighter colored grass, almost like hay. Now the silage corn, they say the king of chaff. In one harvest yields more than a year's worth of grass on the same field, which is absolutely insane. However, as mentioned, you cannot use a corn harvester for this. You will need to use a forage harvester. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever done silage harvested farm sim before. Maybe. It's been a while though. So hey, let's jump in here and have a little bit of fun with it. And we'll see kind of how long it takes to fill this bad boy up. It's filling up very quickly. There's 1,000. There's 1,000. There's 1,000. Holy cow, this is gonna get a lot. It is important to note that it is just regular chaff, so you can use this how you use regular chaff. So if you've got a production point that you enjoy turning chaff into silage the easy way, you could do that. And if you prefer to do it the old-fashioned way and put it into a bunker, well, you could do that as well. I think you could tell we're gonna get an insane, absolutely insane amount of chaff off of this. This may be absolutely perfect, especially if you're maybe turning one of these farms. Like this one's a pretty small farm, but what if you could turn that into a massive cattle farm? Well, that may be great, and you would have more silage than you know what to do with this. Holy cow. So after all said and done, there we go. There's our 52,000 liters, and we got how much harvested? Again, remind me? That much. It's ridiculous. We can kind of assume that we'll get like, I don't know, 100,000 liters of silage for every single pass, or 100,000 liters of straw for every single pass. Now, if we were to jump in here really quickly, I'm going to mute that because that's extremely loud. But if we were to take a look at this, I see, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you're looking at around, what is that, 1.6 million liters of chaff off this field, roughly. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I've gotten kind of curious about how much we can get when it comes to it's picking it up, but just barely. I was curious how much we can get when it comes to this field. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna mow all the grass, and then I'm gonna come back through and we're gonna mow up all of the field grass, and I'm gonna see what the difference is and see if the capacities are really truthful. And as you can see, I did go around the entire field first, and I made it a really, really big concrete jungle. I figured that would make things a little bit easier for me. So it looks like the estimates of around 550-ish thousand liters was correct when it came to the grass. So 556. Now let's see what we get off of the field grass. I will say the cut texture looks really, really nice on this, as I mentioned the previous time, of course. Also, one thing to note, as you mow this, it is just regular grass, so nothing too wild and crazy after that. It drops regular grass, so you don't have to worry about picking up any different crop and trying to turn it into something or mod compatibility. It's just grass, man. And it looks like our numbers were correct. 400,000 liters there, so for the same field, this field particularly, which is 15 acres, yeah, about 150,000 liters less. And with a quick test of the Vetchrye as well, it looks like we're getting about another 100,000 liters less. So for this same field, 550 for grass, 400 for the field grass, and it looks like about 285 for our Vetchrye. I have reported the issue about the field grass to the modders, and it looks like they're going to be testing it out a little bit later on the day of releasing this video. So hopefully I'll have some more information for you soon. Otherwise, this was a lot of fun. I am really digging this map. I like the simplicity. I like the availability to kind of make it your own. I like that it's got own custom buildings. I find that very, very cool. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Hopefully this helped you out and answer some questions. If it did, drop a like, get subscribed if you're new, and join the DjGoHam fam. Double check your notifications. That way the next time I release a video like this one, you're the first one to know about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.